So if I gave you this problem, find the equation of the circle with the center there and passing through the given point, what do you need?
The slope.
The radius.
Nope. We need the radius. Okay? Because remember, the equation of a circle is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. So we have h, right? What is it? What's h? 0. What's k? 0. Because that's the x and the y part of the center. What don't we have?
The radius.
The radius. So how can we find the radius?
I don't know.
No clue. How can we find the radius?
With a protractor.
With a compass.
Nope.
With the slope. Could you just have that point on a graph and then draw a line from the vertex to the point?
I don't have a vertex, I have a circle.
I mean, from the center point, sorry, to the point and then out. What's the one?
And then what? You had it there at the end, I think.
Count the distance.
I don't know how to count the distance though.
I tried.
Find the length of the line.
How am I going to find the length of the line?
I don't know.
Yes, you actually do.
We
Oh my
actually do.
goodness.
You actually do.
Wait, I have another question. Do we have to use one of those circle things?
No,
Okay, then.
you actually do.
You actually do. Yeah.
What do you got, Andrew?
Just find the distance, like.
Oh no.
Not the midpoint
The
method.
triangle. Do we have to use a triangle?
No.
Let me look back.
Okay, that would be a
That's
good
the
plan to look
midpoint.
back in your notes to maybe section 9.1.
Finding the distance.
It's a distance.
So you're going to use the
Distance equation.
distance formula. Yeah, you're going to use the distance formula. Because that's going to give you the radius. The radius, remember, is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. Okay? So first, you've got to find the distance. So that's going to be the square root of 2 minus 0 quantity squared plus negative 4 minus 0 quantity squared. 2 minus 0 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 minus 0. Negative 4 minus 0. Negative 4 squared. 16. So that's the square root of 4 plus 16, which is square root of 20. So the radius is the square root of 20.
Or
Something
A.
multiply that by 4.
Hmm?
Do something multiply that by 4 or no? Oh wait. I'm thinking back up.
You're thinking of
I'm
parabolas.
thinking 4p.
Yes, you're thinking 4p.
My bad.
Yes. Not mine.
Can you just put that into the arc straight?
Okay. So what's the equation then of said circle? It'd be what, Ken? X squared plus y squared equals 20.
We don't worry about the. Oh.
Because the center's at the origin. So it's x minus 0 quantity squared but we just write that as x squared. And really it's y minus 0 quantity squared, but we just write that as y.
Why would you get rid of the square root of 20?
Because this is r, right? And in my equation for a circle, it's
R squared.
r squared.
We cancel.
Square root of 20 squared is just 20. Okay? Do part B. All right, so first I got to find the distance. Okay, so that's going to be 5 minus 0, quantity squared, plus negative 12 minus 0, quantity squared, and I'm going to take the square root of that. 5 minus 0 is 5, squared is 25. Negative 12 minus 0 is negative 12, squared is 144. Square root thereof gets me the square root of 169. Now, can I make that be 13? Yes. Do I have to make that be 13?
No.
No, because what am I going to do with that when I get to the equation? I'm going to square it. So there's no point, just like back here with the square root of 20, there's really no point in simplifying that radical because you just got to square it to put it into the formula. Okay? So that's my radius. So then my equation of said circle over here would be x squared plus y squared equals 169.
169.
Okay. If you made that 13 over here in green, then you just have to square 13 and get 169 over. Okay?
You're still going to get the same end.
There was one problem. Like that, or like this in your homework last night. Okay? It says find both the center and the radius, and then graph. Okay? Okay? So, what would you do first? So in this case, we want to divide both of them by 7. So, and if I divide both of my left side, or if I divide everything on the left side by 7, what else would I have to do?
Divide everything on the right side by 7.
I'd have to divide everything on the right side by 7. So if I divide by 7 here, I've got to divide by 7 there, giving me x squared plus y squared equals 116. From there now, I can find the center. Isaiah, what's the center? Probably want to start paying attention then, don't you think? Right? Because if I can hear you all the way up here, do you think it's a distraction to the other people that are around you? What's the center, Nathan? 0, 0. What's my radius? Kennedy? 4. So I'm going to go right 4, up 4, left 4, and down 4. Giving me a circle that looks like that. Okay. So we've got to get rid of those coefficients. I think had one like this where it might have been 9x squared plus 9y squared equals something. Or it was 8, or was it this actual one?
No, it was 8x squared plus 8y squared
Equals
equals 192.
192. Yeah. So you'd have to divide in that case by 8 first. Okay? Go for it. Kind of a takeoff on the two that we just did.
Thanks.
So this is going to be 2 minus 5 quantity squared plus negative 4 plus 12 because it's minus negative 12 quantity squared gets me, so that's going to be negative 3 squared is 9, positive 8 squared is 64. So that's going to give me a radius here of the square root of 73. Yes?
Bingo.
Okay. So then my equation then is going to be, oops, tap the brakes, child. My equation then is going to be x minus 2 quantity squared plus,
I want to say it all.
say it inside your brain then.
No. I won't remember it.
Y plus 4 quantity squared equals 73.
That's what your answer should be. Good. That's what I got.
Awesome. Okay. Now, just a little geometric refresher for you. Okay. You don't have to write this down if you don't want to. Okay. A line can intersect a circle in 3 different ways. Okay. It can intersect the circle twice. Okay. And we call that then a secant line. Okay. It can intersect the circle once. We call that a tangent line. And it cannot intersect it at all, and then it's just no intersection. Okay? Alright? What I need you to remember, though, from geometry, is that the radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of tangency. So right there, at this point, this right here is the point of tangency. The radius is perpendicular to that line. Okay. We're not going to worry about secant lines. We're not going to worry about non-intersecting lines. We're going to worry about tangent lines. Okay. Okay. So, write the equation of the line tangent to the given circle at the given point of tangency. So, this right here is my point of tangency. So that is the point 6, 1. Because that's what it says. It says given the point of tangency, this right here then is my point of tangency. So this then is my circle. What can you tell me about that circle? Come on, what do you got? Center is at the origin. So this center point right here is at the point 0, 0. Joseph.
The radius is the square root of 37.
The radius is the square root of 37. So the distance between the blue and the red point is the square root of 37. Okay? What you are looking for is you are looking for the equation of this green line. So does the radius come into play at all?
Yeah.
No, the radius means nothing. Okay? What can you tell me about, I shouldn't say that the radius means nothing. The length of the radius means nothing. Okay? But what can you tell me about the green line and the radius going to the point of tangency?
They're perpendicular.
They're perpendicular. So we're going to also add, yep, they're perpendicular. Okay? So these are perpendicular.
90 degrees.
Which means what? Even more. Opposite reciprocals of what? Slope. So if I find first, if you would find the slope of the radius, so first you got to find the slope of your radius line. Well, that's going to be 1 minus 0 over 6 minus 0, which is 1/6, right? Then, because they're perpendicular, that means then my perpendicular slope is going to be what? -6. So the slope of this line, this green line, the slope is -6. It goes through the point 6, 1. So we can use the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus, oops, that's a bad x. I went to go slash, but it came out vertical. Minus x sub 1. So then this would become y minus 1 equals -6 times x minus 6, right? So that's y minus 1 equals -6x plus 36. So the equation of my line is y equals -6x plus 37. I'm going to move that over just a little bit.
Will it always be the same as what the R is for circle, or is that just a coincidence?
Coincidence. Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool if it was the same number. All that work.
All right. So, color black first. Okay. So, first off, let's set it all up. So here's my point of tangency. That's the point 2, -3. Here's my center point. That's the point what? 2, 5. Okay. So first thing I need is I need the slope between those 2 points, right? So 5 minus -3 over 2 minus 2. That gives me 8 over 0. What kind of lines have 8 over 0s? Vertical line, because it's an undefined slope, so that means it's a vertical line. Same thing. You just went your points in a different order. Still get an undefined slope. Okay? Now, we know that this is perpendicular here. Right? So, what kind of lines are perpendicular to vertical lines?
Horizontal.
They're horizontal lines. So, what slope does a horizontal line have? It's got a 0. Because if I think about it, I flip this fraction over, and now I've got 0 divided by 8, which is 0, and the opposite of 0 is just 0. Okay? Or if you wanted to write it as negative 0, that's fine. So now, I can use my point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And I'm going to use the point of tangency. So this is going to be y minus negative 3 is plus 3 equals 0 times, oops, that should have been purple. It's going to equal 0 times x minus 2. 0 times x minus 2. 0. Okay? So I get y plus 3 equals 0. So in the end, I get y equals negative 3 for my equation. You did the center. Yeah? Same homework as last night. Still will be due
Thursday.
on Thursday.
Yeah, we don't have class tomorrow. We gotta have
Again, there is no formative this week. But you have a 9.1 to 9.3 quiz on Thursday.